Hey folks, this is Matt once again, and welcome back to another review. Now, I know some people get mad that I revisit certain movies and do another review, but a lot of times they're movies that either no one talks about or rarely anyone talks about, and for the most part, if they do, they kind of throw it away or they pass it off or they don't really say much about it. And I like to root for the underdog, or I like to talk about movies that deserve talked about more, that seem pretty forgotten. Whether that takes multiple videos throughout years or what, but and this film, Arachnophobia, is one of my favorites from the 90s. And I grew up with this film. I don't love it just because of nostalgia reasons. I love it because I think it's a extremely solid, funny, creepy, well acted, fun popcorn movie. I definitely think it's the best of the killer spider genre. And I've seen others. I liked Kingdom of the Spiders with William Shatner, but I would say I like this more. Eight Lady Free to have a little bit of fun with, but I like this more. And first off, the film is directed by Frank Marshall. This is a guy who worked with Spielberg. He was Spielberg's producer for a long time. And then this was his first chance to direct a film, and thus Steven Spielberg became an executive producer, as well as Kathleen Kennedy. She was a producer. Now, Frank Marshall would go on to direct a film called Alive, which I've heard of. I vaguely remember, only vaguely. I don't know if I liked it or not. He also directed Congo, which I always thought was a pretty underrated film. I did a review for that. That's on my channel. Just type in Congo on my channel with Ernie Hudson, low cameo Bruce Campbell. I always liked Congo. Never really understood what the bad rap that movie got and why it deserved it. I don't know why. I thought I don't think it deserves it. But this one, it came out in 1990. It did well. It made over 50 million bucks, and it had some stiff competition. I mean, yeah, remember in 1990, the summer 1990, you had Total Recall, you had Die Hard 2, you had a lot of big movies coming out. And this film, about killer spiders, it was never going to be $100 million blockbuster, but it made over 50 million, and that's seems like a hit. So I don't understand. And before that, it got good critical reviews too. It got 2 thumbs up from Siskel and Ebert. I think Leonard Moulton even liked it. It got some pretty damn good reviews. Has a decent rating on IMDb, 6.4 for IMDb. That's pretty decent. I know I'm not the only one who likes this film. I know a lot of people enjoy the flick because you have a premise which is executed well. The Spider Wranglers did a damn good job using real spiders. Not nowadays, this would be a bunch of CGI spiders and it would look fake, shitty, phony, cartoonish, like a fucking video game. Here, it's real spiders being wrangled around, coming out of sinks, coming out of the walls, coming down here, skittering over there, and it works so much better and creepier because of that. You have a good cast. Jeff Daniels, who would be in Dumb and Dumber, and this is my favorite role of his because he's a very likable guy. He's a guy to relate to. He's a guy who's a nice guy. He's a doctor. He moves from the city to the country. He has a wife. He has 2 kids. He's going to be this family doctor for this town. The old guy fucks him over, screws him over, so you feel bad for the guy, Jeff Daniels, because he was made a promise. He got fucked over. And then his character also has a fear of spiders, thus arachnophobia. And I can relate to that because I hate spiders. I hate spiders. I fucking hate them. And maybe because of this movie, it could be because of this movie why that is. I mean, just think about it. You're sleeping. And I like the story that Jeff Daniels tells where one of his first memories is as a baby, and the spider crawling to his crib, touching his leg, coming up to his face. And think about that, anytime you sleep, more than likely spiders have crawled over you. Sometimes you wake up, you see like little bites on you and stuff. Where do you think they came from? The thin air? So when you go to bed tonight, more than likely, at least one spider is crawled over you. Your chest or your leg or your face. That's a creepy feeling. I hate spiders to this day. And I know I repeat myself, but it could very well be because of this movie, because it has some really good scenes, like a spider in a shower, and on the shower curtain, and getting on your body, and or a spider hiding in a toilet as someone's about to sit down. You're like, each time I sit on a toilet, I check the toilet seat just to make sure, is there anything there? Because I don't want a spider munching on my hole like an asshole would. But you have a good cast. Jeff Daniels does a great job. John Goodman. One of my only gripes with the film, I wish John Goodman was in it more as Delbert the exterminator, who even has his own theme, which I enjoy. But I do wish he was in more of the film, but that's because I enjoy his character. I wanted to see more of him. So that's my only little gripe with the film, is I wish there was more scenes with that character. But thankfully he doesn't die, and he comes in the third act, and he becomes one of our main characters by the third act, which is nice. You have Julian Sands. I know he did a film called, I believe, Warlock, which I still have yet to see, I know. You have this guy who plays a colleague of Julian Sands who comes down and helps out Jeff Daniels, and the actor's name is Brian McNamara, as this guy named Collins. I think it's Chris Collins. He did a good job. He was likable, and everyone did fine. The woman who played the wife, she did a good job. The effects, when they needed to happen, like the big general spider from Venezuela, and you have this great fight at the end. I think that was the help of Chris Wallace. Chris Wallace, who's worked on Gremlins and directed The Fly 2, and has done a lot of stuff. Chris Wallace did a great job with that. And I know I'm going over the place, but I really do enjoy this film, and I never understood why this film has nothing in the home video market. If you buy the DVD or the Blu-ray, you get like teeny tiny featurettes from back in the day, promotional featurettes, either two or three of them. I think about two, and each one's like 2 or 3 minutes long. And you get the trailer, and that's it. And I'm like, again, this film was a hit. It was a critical hit. Hell, it has a 97% of Rotten Tomatoes. Granted, that's because there's only like 37 reviews total. But still, out of those 37 reviews, most of them are positive. And I know quite a bit of people enjoy this movie. I know my friends enjoy this movie. Actually, I don't know what my friend Effrey thinks about it. I've never talked to him about this one, I don't think. But my friend Mike did a review. He enjoyed it. And they would never make a movie like this anymore. If they tried, it'd be a shitty Sci-Fi Channel film where it'd be a bunch of shitty CGI spiders. And look at this. They actually had real spiders. You just get some spider wranglers. And it's that effective. That much more effective than a CGI spider would. And it's something, it sounds weird, but it's something we can relate to, because anywhere you live, there's going to be spiders around. What if that spider could kill you in one bite? So I really, it's a simple premise. And again, you've had films before like Kingdom of the Spiders. And again, I like Kingdom of the Spiders, but the ending was kind of interesting, but I kind of wanted to see what happened after the ending in a way. If you've seen the film, you know what I mean. And also, even though I hate spiders, that film does have a tendency where a lot of real spiders got killed for real on location, like being stepped on, stomped on. While in this film, that's much more controlled, and I don't think you're allowed to do that. But I still like Teen with the Spiders. One day, not anytime soon, one day I want to review that. I mean, it's William Shatner, and he's pretty good in it. But the film is a good-looking film. I mean, the beginning where they're shooting and it's supposed to be Venezuela, and this photographer meets up with Julian Sands, and they go in this rainforest, this remote place to look at, the bugs and all the stuff that's been there for so many years. And one thing leads to another, and one of the spiders crawls into this bag, hides in it. The photographer who's been sick lays down, and the spider just crawls under his bed and under his covers and bites him and kills him quick via the venom. And even that's like, ugh. Because I could imagine being in bed and it's just something crawling on you and just one bite, boom, done. And spiders are just ugly motherfuckers. They're just ugly as shit. Like bees I can handle. I have no problem with bees. I have no problem with, flies. They're annoying, but I'll just fucking, I have no, I'm like, fly. Mosquito are annoying assholes. But spiders and roaches are the ones that maybe one day they'll do that, like roaches. Well, I mean, if you want to see a good one of that, and they do more sci-fi to it, where it's big roach monsters. The Nest. That's a really good one. The Nest. I think I reviewed that a while ago, but The Nest is a damn good one from the 80s. I'm trying to think of other killer bug. Oh, there was another one called Bug, which was interesting. Not the William Friedkin one. This was one from the 70s, I believe, where these bugs would get on people, and then they also sort of explode into fire and burn people. It was a weird but interesting idea, which is part of why I liked that film. I believe it's called Bud from like the 70s. But I think there's been quite a few killer bug movies. I think like back in the day there's a made for TV. Wasn't there one called, I know I reviewed it. I don't think it's up anymore. No, it's not up anymore because I had to take it down for copyright, but it was one called Ants. Or it was kind of like this film. It was made before this film, but it was like this film, but it was ants instead of spiders. But okay, you take a concept that's a B level concept, and you have A level production values. You have an A level cast. It looks great. The music, the score fits the film very well, and has a good combination of thrills, creepiness, and comedy humor without resorting to fart gags or puke gags or piss jokes, but humor that is fitting and works with the film. And, for the plot, the photographer ends up dead. They ship him out. Spire goes on the coffin. Inside the coffin, gets put back to, I think it was a small town in California. I could be wrong about the state. And that's when Jeff Daniels' family arrives, and I just feel bad for this guy. It is my favorite role of his. Jeff Daniels, he's very likable. He's easygoing. I don't want to say aloof, but he's easy to feel bad for because he gets, being scared of spiders and then getting thrust to the situation at the end of the film. He comes in, moves his family in, then this old doc is an asshole saying, "No, I decided not to retire, so go fuck yourself, Jeff Daniels." It's like, you motherfucker, you motherfucker. They don't say that, but, and I think the film is what, it's PG or PG-13. I forget what it is. And that's another interesting thing is that I was speaking of the home video market. Like, why can't there be any interviews? I know I go all over the place, but again, getting back to home video market, why isn't there documentary? Interview Jeff Daniels. Interview John Goodman. Interview Frank Marshall. I mean, come on, Frank. This is your first film, and it did well. Critics liked it. I know some audiences liked it. I'm one of them. It did pretty decently at the box office. It was never going to make $100 million. I'm sorry. It wasn't going to be E.T. And I like this more than E.T. I just bet you E.T. does this, Spielberg, which he directed that one, but I don't mind E.T., but if I pick between two, Arachnophobia wins hands down. So it made decent money. It got good reviews. I know people like it. Jeff Daniels, John Goodman, the woman who played the wife. I think it's Harley Jane Kozak. I could be wrong. Could have gotten the name wrong. Frank Marshall. Chris Walas, who did the effects on the spider. I mean, what the fuck? Do a commentary, Frank Marshall. I don't understand why. Hell, there were even some posters, VHS covers and shit, where you would have the cover and there'd be no spider. It's like a full moon and there's no spider. And I'm like, what is this? Arachnophobia. With all it is a moon. What? We're scared of the fucking moon? Is this about being a fear of moons? Where's the fucking spider? And I know the Blu-ray, you have the spider on the cover. And but VHS or DVD at least, the DVD cover, no spider, just a fucking full moon. I'm like, what kind of fuck up is that? I mean, I know you did like a little spider web in the corner, but all you're seeing is like a full moon. I'm like, arachnophobia, is that fear of moons? Is the moon going to kill us? The moon rays are going to burn us alive? The moon beams are going to beam through our soul? It's gotten a shitty deal at home video, and I mean, it is out on Blu-ray, and the Blu-ray does look pretty damn good, but no features. It sucks. But I mean, I just go on a tangent with that. But Frank Marshall, for his first directing, he did a damn good job. Nice touches with the camera. For example, when the coffin arrives, after Jeff Daniels' family arrives, and the spider comes out of the coffin, it just shows reflections of things in the area to show the spider instead of showing it full force. And then like you have a cat and a dog going out of a doggy door. And then you just see a little bit of the spider coming out of the doggy door. Little touches like that where we don't see full blown, but little touches until you see a lot in the third act. And I think it looks pretty damn good. People make fun of it, saying it looks fake or looks shitty. I don't understand that at all. That blows me away that people say that. I'm like, that looks fake to you? That looks crappy? I can name you 100 movies in the past 10 years that look shittier than that. Doomsday from Batman v Superman, Dawn of Butt Sex. That looks shitty. That's shitty. But hey, it's all subjective. This is my subjective, my opinion. But the Jeff Daniels, his family, I like the idea that his wife isn't afraid. They find a little daddy long leg type of spider that she just picks him up, takes him to the barn. Some of the dialogue's funny, like when the old doctor screws Jeff Daniels over, and she's like, "Well, what are we going to do?" And he's like, "I don't know, kill him." Just very deadpan, and Jeff Daniels does that deadpan delivery very well, and it works for the film. Very low key. And that's when she tries to get him to look at the web in the barn, and he tells about the memory of when he was a baby. And each of the spider attacks are very well done because you get actual spider wrangling, spider coming down from a web or skittering and hiding around. You also get some nice close-up of the spider, which makes me, ugh. I hate spiders. I hate them. And the up close, they're just ugly motherfuckers. You one ugly motherfucker to every one of them. And like the first one who dies is this very, very nice lady who helps Jeff Daniels out, stands up for him against this old asshole of a doc, and even throws a party for him to try to deal more work. So she's a very nice, sweet old lady, and she's the first to die. Another person who dies is at a school where it gets into a kid's helmet. And even then, like, you see the spider spinning down on a web onto the bleachers and it crawls to the kid's helmet. Or the old asshole doc, he's on a treadmill and it crawls into his slippers, so when he puts it on, it bites him. Each one is handled very well. Pretty damn well. So either way, some other fun stuff. John Goodman. For the first, like, hour and such, he's only in, like, 2 scenes. Again, my only gripe is I wish there was more John Goodman. When he's there, it's fun. Jeff Daniels has this wine cellar, and the wood is rotten, so they're wondering if there's termites or anything. So they hire John Goodman, and he comes down. I love the music for his character. One of my favorite characters from John Goodman is Delbert. It's like maybe he's trying to do a teeny bit of Bill Murray from Caddyshack, but not really. But maybe like a teeny tiny bit, like a thumbnail of that. And he has some funny lines. Wouldn't you want to object if I tore this floor out? Yeah, I would. False alarm then. Move on. Well, what should we do? Well, you got bad wood. Well, what should we do? Tear out bad wood. Put in good wood. Oh, your husband collects wine, huh? Yeah. Well, I got a good beer can collection myself. I got like a, what was it, like a Budweiser or something. I got like a Budweiser can. They've only made like 100 of them. John Goodman does it better than me. But I would like to ask him about this movie. If I ever met John Goodman, I would ask him about this film. How did he get the job? Was it always the intention to not have that many scenes of him? Was anything cut out? Was there any thoughts of doing more? Hell, it would have been nice to see a spinoff. Like another film, but Delbert. You know how they did U.S. Marshals? I know this is a leap. The Fugitive, and then they took Tom Lee Jones, they did U.S. Marshals. I wouldn't mind that if they did that with John Goodman, where he do Arachnophobia too, but from his perspective. He's moved to another town, and this time it was a scientist brought some shit to a town, or they've been experimenting there, and science gone awry, or you could always make up some B-level plot. Doesn't have to make that 100% sense as long as it's fun. And John Goodman arrives, and he becomes more of a main character. I think that would have been a great Arachnophobia too, but hey, what do I know? Fucking movie can't even get features or interviews or anything. But just a lot of really, I just like the way they wrangled and handled the spiders. I watch this, and nowadays this would just be all CGI spiders. And think about it, they never do this kind of stuff nowadays. Name a movie in the past 5 years that have done stuff with real bugs or real insects or even real animals in a horror film, let alone a horror comedy. Or they coined the phrase thrillomedy because they didn't want to. This was a time when they didn't want to call horror films, so they're thrillers, suspense thrillers. Songs of Lambs is suspense. And Seven is a suspense. Nothing horror. It's not horror. Well, it's not horror, but it's also not horror. It's a thrillomedy, which I'm like, I don't like thrillomedy. That's a stupid phrase. It's a horror comedy. It's got some horror. It's got some humor. Horror comedy is not a bad idea. It's not a bad phrase. Some of the great films are that. Fright Night is that. For fuck's sake. The original Fright Night. Evil Dead 2. Fucking shit. But, pretty much things are coming to a head. Jeff Daniels wants the bodies exhumed. I like that you have the sheriff. I know the sheriff guy has been in a few films. He was in a bit part in Congo. And he's like, well, if you zoom these bodies, it's going to be very bad for business. And Jeff Daniels turns him and goes, no shit. Uh, Jeff Daniels, I thought, really did a great job. I liked also a scene where he's looking at papers and he gets scared by a cricket. Like, a cricket comes and he's like, oh shit, and looks at it. He's not scared of crickets, and he realizes, hey, where are your buddies? Because throughout the film, people talk about how, oh, it's the country, you can hear crickets. And Jeff Daniels goes, actually, we haven't heard crickets for a long time. So you get the idea. So many spiders, they're killing all the crickets. That's how they're feeding themselves. But yeah, Julian Sands sends his buddy Collins Brian McNamara. I thought he did a good job. They look at the bites. They find each one has a spider bite. You have this one scene I really do enjoy where Jeff Daniels is, because I just understand this with things at night. Whether you hear something, whether you think you feel something, or you think you see something, it can fuck with you for a bit. So he sees something and it looks like a spider, and he creeps up and he realizes it's sort of a door hanger, and it was a shadow. I always liked that scene. I thought that was very well played. And God, gotta stop saying ums and uhs. I hate that. I'm trying. Trying to think what. I don't want to miss anything. Just this film. Anytime I watch it, it puts a big smile on my face. Just it's good popcorn entertainment. It's fun. It's creepy. It gives me with the spiders, but it's got some likable characters and some fun dialogue. Like when Jeff Daniels and the sheriff guy and Brian McNamara and another guy go look at this place. And Jeff Daniels goes, "Hey, perk up. If we find the spider who did this, you can arrest him." And the sheriff guy finds a dead spider in the cereal. And around that time, there's spiders at another place. And that's where you get the scene like there's a spider in the shower curtain, jumps on the girl's body, sliding down her body. Lucky spider. Or a spider hiding in the toilet, and the father of that, which is actually Peter Jason, who's been a lot of John Carpenter stuff. He sits down, but she screams in the shower, so he gets up so he doesn't get bit on the ass and goes see what's going on. And that's where you get John Goodman's second appearance in the film, where he's looking in, can't find any spiders, come out, sees a spider, uses a spray, doesn't work, so he just steps on it. And the dog's barking. He's like, yeah, that's right. I'm bad. I really like John Goodman's character of Delbert. I really liked it. And then we go back to Jeff Daniels and the guy, and there's a spider that jumps at them, and Jeff Daniels plays scared very well. I mean, that sounds stupid to say, but playing scared on film, it looks real. It looks like he really did have arachnophobia. He played off very well. Like he really was paralyzed with fear anytime he saw these guys. And they'll be able to catch it and study it. Julian Sands comes down. He gives some exposition, what they can do. And I like the idea that they're drones and they're soldiers. It reminds me a little bit of Aliens, where they were the soldiers and you had a queen. And this did it better than shit like Independence Day 2. And then John Goodman comes in and they ask him, do you have any spiders? Like, yeah, I think, actually, I still have one at the bottom of my shoe. And then you have like this other couple and their spider and their popcorn, and they grab a chunk of popcorn, and then when our main characters get there, they find the couple, a guy and a woman, dead. And Jeff Daniels looks at the guy, and a fucking spider comes out of the nose. Like literally, it's a nose. Spider just comes out of the nose, and that is freaky. Think about that. Like a spider just coming out of your nose. I mean, I don't know if Chris Wallace did the body as well as the spider effects. I don't know. That's why I wish there was an interview with him about arachnophobia. I would like to ask him about that. I love that scene with and the spiders crawling over their bodies, and they get out of there. Julian Sands is off on his own, goes to Jeff Daniels' farm, goes to the barn. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. He thinks he's teen shit, I guess, because he goes up, fucks with the web. Hey, dinner's ready. Come and get it. But he gets his comeuppance, gets bit on the neck by the general. I think it's the general spider. And you have a very, very fun finale. I love the way this movie ends. That's another thing people pick on. They pick on the ending of the film, especially the Jeff Daniels versus the General Spider. Oh, it's silly. Oh, it's unrealistic. It's about killer spiders. Shut the fuck up. Sorry. It's my opinion. It's not silly. It's badass. It's fun. It's cool. It has this build up and this slow build up, which it works because it's shot well. The music fits the film like a glove. The spider work is creepy and it gets under my skin. Likable characters, and you have John Goodman going to the barn, trying to see if like, hello, trick or treat. Finds Julian Sands dead. Jeff Daniels and the other guy go in, try to get the family out, and this is where they will not do this today, and that sucks. Where spiders just come out everywhere, and it's real spiders that come out of the walls, that come out of the TV. When they go upstairs, they're coming from the ceiling. They're spinning the web down from the ceiling. They go up and they're crawling on the banister. They get in the bathroom. They're going under the door. They're crawling out of the sink. Like you have a sink and then spiders just come out. It's a creepy image. And the rest of the family get out except Jeff Daniels, and you just feel sorry for this guy. And at the same time, John Goodman, he gets his gear on, and it's like rock and roll. Which I know in the trailer, there's a louder version of that where he yells at rock and roll. But I like that they have this low key version where it's like rock and roll. I do wish we saw more of John Goodman fighting these spiders off. I wish we saw more footage of that. Like him inside the house doing stuff. I think that would have been nice. And maybe see that's what I mean. That's my one gripe with the film. I wish there was more John Goodman. It's cool he's doing stuff and he's a fun character, but I wish there was more footage of him. I wish there was more scenes him going in the house and burning these fucking spiders up. But at least I do like Jeff Daniels and his this poor guy. He spires on him and he falls off the banister, crashes right through the floor. And the whole thing with the film is that in the nest, spiders won't go down there, I guess because they're cannibals. And, the queen doesn't want anyone to eat the baby spiders that come out and such. So, this battle with the queen spider and then the general spider, who I'll call teen shit, teen spider, I love it. I think the direction is really good. I like the camera work. Like Jeff Daniels has the shovel, it has these long shots, then push in, and then Jeff Daniels turns, one long shot that push in, he turns again, another long shot that pushes in. I really like that way the camera work is done. And fries that one, melts it, and then the general, Teen Spider, Teen Shit is pissed. And it's just a fun battle, man. He just trapped under the wine cellar thing and he's throwing bottles. Not the chateau. They just throwing more bottles. He gets out of there. He gets a little tin and flame and has a fucking flamethrower. Yeah, flamethrower food. Fucking flamethrower food, man. When was the last time a movie had flamethrower food? Someone just using a flamethrower of some sort. And just burning through the wine cellar. I love that stuff. trying to find it, burning everything. One thing leads to another. He's trapped down, and the spider's coming up to him, and he's able to flip it, and then make the general on fire. And he takes a nail gun and shoots it, and hits the fucking general, hits it to the edge side and blows it up. Really good work by Chris Wallace. Wallace? I think it's Chris Wallace. Excellent job. Excellent work. I thought it looked real to me. Still looks real to me. Because it is real. They used, it was physically there. It looked cool. It was exciting. It was fun. It's a great way to end a movie. And John Goodman gets him out, and everything's okay, and the family moved out back to the city, and the movie ends. This film, I know I repeat this, other than I wish there was more John Goodman, but likable characters, Jeff Daniels and John Goodman especially. The premise I enjoy. And if you don't do this premise, they did it right, using real spiders, real stuff, real spider wranglers. Did a great job with it. The music fit the film well. The humor fit the film well. It wasn't humor like, let's just put fucking farts here, or let's put fucking shit jokes here, or no, it fit the film. The tone was right. Exciting finale with flamethrower Fu and likable lead character, and it went at a good pace, never got bored, and it's a well shot film for especially a first time director. I think he did a damn good job. So Arachnophobia, I love it. It's always been a favorite of mine ever since I was a kid. I still enjoy it to this day. I think it deserves a lot more than it's gotten, and I hope one day it gets the credit it deserves. It's a fun, entertaining popcorn movie. And I wish I could see interviews with Jeff Daniels and John Goodman and Chris Wallace and Frank Marshall, and that would be great. But hey, apparently I'm the only one who thinks that, because, or at least the higher ups don't think that. You think Steven Spielberg has some juice? Maybe he could get that together, but I don't know. Did he fuck around these people too, like he did with Poltergeist? Did he fuck around with Frank Marshall on this one too? Did Steven Spielberg really direct Arachnophobia? Like Poltergeist, or whatever the hell it was. Anyway, I mean, again, you think Steven Spielberg would have some juice, but I don't know. I guess he doesn't give a shit. But either way, I give a shit. I enjoy this film a lot. It's a damn good one. So that's my thoughts on Arachnophobia. Thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you later. Bye bye.